Hello people, this is Rodney VanAlstine, living well on half an acre, Shepherd's Path Farms. And I was just doing a little dehydrating here of my yellow crooked neck squash, and I wanted to make a video on how to save your seeds from your yellow crooked neck squash. What I do is I cut off the ends, the blossom end and the stem end, and then I cut them in half, and then I scoop out the seeds. And what I end up doing is I just put my fingers in there and scoop out all the seeds that are in there. And you got a seed with a little bit of pulp, and you want to separate them from your squash. You just scoop them all out like that, and then you can take your squash and turn around and cook it or to eat or dehydrate it or whatever. But when you this is kind of a messy job. Kids would really love to be able to do this. You just pop the ends of your stems off of the pulp, and all you have is a seed left. And once you do that, you I like to use the you go to the Walmart and you get them 2.5 dozen egg cartons. You know, they're the flat ones, the corrugated cardboard. I like to cut them open and lay my seeds out on that, and it makes a good medium for drying the seeds on. And I put that on top of my kitchen cabinets and let it sit there for a few weeks, and the seeds, you know, the heat up there just dries them right out. It's not real terribly hot because I use my air conditioning, but it works really well, and then you have plenty of seed for you from year to year for your yellow crooked neck squash. You can do this with any kind of squash or any kind of plant. Actually, there's different ways of doing different plants, you know, like let me see, the tomatoes are totally different. You can see here that you have tomatoes. When you're doing tomatoes, you squeeze out the seeds in the pulp, and you gotta wait. You set them in a bowl, and you put a paper towel or a towel over them and let that mold go on top of them. It kind of looks nasty, but what you do is you just skim that mold skin off, and you are able to take and rinse this through a colander, and all that stuff goes through the colander, and what you're left with is the seeds. What it does is it ferments a little bit, and the gelatin that is around the seed, that fermentation will eat that gelatin. And otherwise, if you try to save your seeds, that gelatin will make the seed rot, and it won't be no good. But let me show you real quick how we do this. It's kind of messy, but it saves you on seed, and you're able to save your seed, especially if it's a really highly acclaimed heirloom seed that you want to keep. These are German Queen heirloom seeds, and I really like the tomato because they get really huge. And so I'm going to take this, and I'm going to grab my screen over here. It's not here. Alright, this is the one I'm wanting. I'm going to take you over here by the sink so you can see what I'm doing. Alright. Hopefully it won't fall down. Let me adjust this a little bit. There we go. Now you can pretty much see my dirty dishes. Set that aside. But what we're going to do is we're going to sit here and skim this off of here, this moldy stuff, and it usually comes out like a skin, but actually as loose as that is, I'm just going to put it through the thing. You want to make sure you use cold water, not the hot water, because it'll cook your seeds and your seeds won't grow nothing. But you just pour that in there. Let that sit there for a minute, and just work that around, and all that pulp and gelatin stuff comes off of your seed and goes through the colander. And what you're left with is your seed. If you can see that it's mainly just seed there. Rinse that all around. And this is a really good way of saving your seeds. This is your tomato seeds. And I really appreciate being able to do this. It saves a lot of money. And I mean, when you're buying little packs of seeds, you know, 15, 20, 25, 30 seeds in a little paper bag, for a little paper pouch for, you know, $2, $3 a pack, you know, that's ridiculous. When you can get how many seeds? How many seeds can you get for free just by saving them yourself? What you do is you put them in a container with a little bit of water in them, and you let them sit with a paper towel or a washcloth or some, you know, a hand towel over top of them. Let it sit for a couple of days. And when that starts to get a good mold on there, that's when you're able to wash it out through a screen, and it washes all the gelatin off. All right, after you get it to this point, you want to kind of get most of the water off of there. And let me get my cardboard. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is a piece of cardboard off of the egg carton. You see 2.5 dozen eggs there. And I just cut it out. And what I do is I get most of the water off. And I like to get a piece of paper towel and lay on it for tomatoes. But with the bigger seeds like squash and so forth, you just lay it on top of this. But with the tomato seeds, you know, it's really small and you end up picking through the cardboard. But the cardboard really makes a really good medium for soaking up the excess water and so forth. So let me get a piece of paper towel. And what we do is we just kind of shake out a little excess water. Don't need all that excess. Alright, and then just plop it down on top of there. And you might have a few that want to stick, but that's alright. We've got plenty here. And then just kind of spread it like you do peanut butter. You know? And when these dry, you'll be able to break them up like crackers. And, you know, just rub them in your hand, and they will come right apart. See, you just wipe these out like this, and you set them up. Set them. Oh shoot! There went my thing. But you just set them up on top of your top cabinets, and within a few days they'll be dried up. And you just take this here piece of paper towel up, and over top of like a plate or something, and you just crumble them up on there. And I like to store my seeds in a mason jar with a little paper towel in it, so if there's any excess moisture, you know, it soaks up into the paper towel. But you fill up a little pint jar, mason jar, and then you vacuum seal it with the paper towel, a dry paper towel in there, and man, they'll store for a year or two. And I mean, 3 years, 2 to 3 years, you'll be fine. You'll have plenty of tomato seeds. But I like to do it year to year, so I always am ahead of myself with the seeds. I do this with, I store tomato seeds and string beans. Here we got over here, these are little pepper seeds, but underneath here you got string beans seeds. String beans and peas. I think these are maybe peas. They might be shell peas. But I do a lot of storing of seed. And there's nobody gonna stop me from eating, because I really like to eat. So this is Rodney VanAlstine on a little short video on how to store your seeds. You have a blessed day. Bye bye. I'll get you out some more videos soon.